The second half has arrived in Utah, and the road to the AUSL playoffs is beginning to come into focus. The defending champion Talons sit in the driver's seat for the league's top seed, but if the rearview mirror is any indication, the Blaze are closer than they appear at the moment. As we welcome you to Salt Lake City, she's the two-time Olympian, Natasha Watley. I'm Noah Frary. Sydney Supley is here as well, and the Talons took the first meeting between these two teams. Natasha, why is this matchup so important for the Blaze?
This is so important for the Blaze because the Bandits have been playing so well. They're on their heels, and so this is going to be important. In the coming weeks, there's a small room for error.
Now, the defining question in this series, who steps up in the big moments? Fortunately, both teams have had that lately.
Yes, well, Jada Coleman, the Oklahoma Sooner standout, just returned back to the Talons after being on the injured reserve and reminded us why she's one of the game's difference makers with the Grand Slam. And if the Talons were already one of the league's toughest teams, with Coleman back, she definitely raises their ceilings. And on the other side, Baylee Klingler, the third-year pro, she's only been back for a week from Japan, and she's already doing the same thing, hitting a Grand Slam of her own, getting the Blaze back into a ball game, but just showing how much of an impact she can make.
And she will have some help in the lineup today. Aubrey Leach set to lead things off. Reese Atwood bats in the two-hole, and Alyssa Brito is coming off of a really nice series against Oklahoma. Taylor Tinsley's ready. Aubrey Leach is ready. Let's do it from Salt Lake City, and a first pitch by Aubrey Leach is fouled off, going up against a rookie in Taylor Tinsley, who's making just her second career start.
Yeah, and we're forgetting about Taylor Tinsley on the Talons. This is a deep pitching staff. This is her second start, her first start, a complete shutout win, and so she's excited to get the ball tonight, and we'll see what she can do.
Well, I knew we had a former Bruin in the booth, so there was no way that we were forgetting about Taylor Tinsley. An incredible collegiate career through north of 800 pitches in the recently completed NCAA postseason. Almost single-handedly on the pitching side, took UCLA to the Women's College World Series. Aubrey Leach, consistent table setter. It's the definition for number 75 in black tonight. And what makes Aubrey Leach such a good table setter?
She has such a high softball IQ. It's the barrel control. She knows exactly what she's hunting, what pitches she's looking for. She's able to put the ball in play, makes great contact, and also has great speed as well.
And Leach will work the leadoff walk to open up this start for Taylor Tinsley. You know the saying, leadoff walks tend to come back to hurt you.
Yeah, and it's just going to be key for Tinsley just to settle in these moments. It's been a while since she's had the ball. She's used to carrying quite a bit of a load. But I know from talking to her, she's been just doing her homework, getting able to learn from the staff, learning from Montana Fouts and Reagan Faremo and Corrick as well.
This staff is a rookie's dream. Corrick, Fouts, Escobedo, McGee, the projected starter in tomorrow's game, as Reese Atwood demolishes this to center field. And the Blaze are on the board early. The talented rookie makes her presence felt early with her 5th home run of the year.
Yeah, Reese Atwood is so hot right now. She's seeing the ball so well. This is an 0-1 count, changeup, elevated. She takes it deep, and she keeps providing so much offense for this Carolina Blaze team.
You know, Natasha, many in the AUSL are talking about her teammate, Carlin Pickens, as the presumptive Rookie of the Year. I think Reese Atwood's going to have something to say about that down the stretch of the year. Yeah,
we were talking off camera, and I definitely think Reese Atwood is a front runner to be Rookie of the Year. Just the numbers that she's put up, how she's been leading behind the plate as well, and just completely changing the tone of a ball game.
Lyndon Baptiste, our home plate umpire, stopping play momentarily with Dakota Kennedy, the former Arkansas standout, at the plate.
And that's the keys when you're facing someone like Tinsley, is you're picking heights. She goes up and down. She has that changeup. that changeup will keep you off speed. But if I'm facing her, I'm thinking more heights, looking more down in the zone.
Kennedy 3 for 10 with a home run off of the Talons pitching staff in their matchup in Durham last week. They're one of these talented rookies for Cara Dill's side. Quite a few this season. And I think that's the interesting question as we go deeper into the season, Natasha. We're in a playoff hunt, and for some of these athletes that weren't in a playoff hunt last year, it'll be intriguing to see how that plays out over the next 12 games.
Yeah, I think when we talk to GM Dana Sorensen, it'll be interesting to hear her take on it too, but that was a big thing for her, is picking a young team with championship experience or Women's College World Series experience. So a Dakota Kennedy, a Reese Atwood, a Carlin Pickens all have that experience of playing at that high level and high platform.
There's Dana Sorensen. Catch up with her later in this game. Looking forward to that conversation. As Dakota Kennedy fouls off the 2-2. Her Arkansas team was in the Women's College World Series for the first time this season. Dana Sorensen, the Blaze general manager, has done a nice job of reworking this roster. Reese Atwood, a two-time Women's College World Series champion. And that conversation with Dana Sorensen coming up in the third inning tonight. There's the 2-2 sent the other way. Alchin having to track back. She won't get there. Dakota Kennedy with the easy turn. And a second straight extra base hit as the Blaze continue to get to Tinsley early.
And if you are the Blaze, this is exactly the plan of attack, is to attack early and attack hard. Dakota Kennedy following suit behind a Reese Atwood. But putting the pressure on the Talons early is very important.
Utah came in 12-4. Carolina at 7-6. As Klingler sends one through the left side, they're going to go station to station. As Dakota Kennedy will stop at third. Alchin's got a really nice arm out in left field. And Sydney Ball Malone is heading to the plate. Could we see a quick pitching change? It appears we will. So Taylor Tinsley's second start in a Talons uniform will be a short one here tonight. Tinsley's done. And the defending pitcher of the year in the AUSL, Georgina Korick, is coming in.
And the last time Georgina Korick faced the Carolina Blaze, she was in control, hitting the corners with precision, doing what Georgina Korick does, also changing speeds, changing eye levels, and just was electric and was able to get the win for the Utah Talons.
Korick fantastic in that game one start in Durham, went 8 innings, did not give up an earned run. 2 unearned runs in that outing in a game that she would win to improve to 2-0 on this young season. And now facing this Blaze team a week later. And if you were the Talons, Natasha Watley, this is not how you drew things up.
Definitely not how you drew things up, but we haven't seen a Taylor Tinsley, so you definitely have to give her the opportunity. Like we said, the Talons are in the driver's seat where they are in standings, and so you want to see the depth of your bullpen, you want to see the depth of your pitching staff, and so definitely not the start that Taylor Tinsley wanted, but Georgina Korick comes in and has a good complement to Tinsley as well. And
it is worth mentioning, Tinsley still could come back into this game, so we won't fill out our scorecards just yet. Georgina Korick has been one of the best pitchers in the AUSL over the last 2 seasons. Second straight game that the Talons will have to play from behind as Laird shows the bunt, pulls back. I kind of feel like this might be a spot where maybe you throw some small ball in there.
And I was just going to say, if I were in this situation, I definitely would be thinking more small ball. Thinking about just trying to put some more pressure on the Talons. They're already playing on their heels a little bit. So trying to shake things up if I'm Jenna Laird.
Well, you were one of the best small ballers ever during your career at UCLA. As Laird grounds this to second, they're going to get the force. A heads-up play there by Savannah Jaquish, playing in just her 3rd game in her AUSL career at second base.
And I really like Savannah Jaquish at second base. She is a jack of all trades. We have seen her everywhere. We've seen her behind the plate. We see her in the corners. I've even seen her play outfield. Playing second base, this is new for her, but I love seeing her there and how she's taken charge there.
And there's some confusion right here. Georgina Cork appears to have gotten the explanation that she wanted.
Yeah, hit by pitch for Brito, and she's thinking that this possibly could have been a strike. And Brito on the plate, her toes are on the line. And umpire's giving that to Brito.
First pitch swinging for Valerie Cagle. Cagle gets the start today in right field. Only hitting this year during her career, was known as one of the best two-way players in recent college history, but choosing to focus on hitting as she takes a tough pitch off the plate, 1-1. Hit a home run in that series against the Talons in Durham at the Signature Series last week. A big spot for this Blaze team. They've been the best with runners in scoring position in the AUSL this year. Can they deliver? Upstairs to Cagle. The count is even.
And this is the moment where they thrive. Bases loaded. They hit .333. They're tied for first in the AUSL.
Ground ball through the right side. That'll score Kennedy. The throw coming home, it's cut off. And the Blaze have a crooked number here in the top of the first inning. It's 4-0.
And Cagle just hits this curveball in, but take a look at the defense. Savannah Jaquish playing a little bit up the middle. This is a curve in. If I'm Savannah Jaquish, I want to play a little bit more and cover that curveball in and cover that 3-4 hole, but this one sneaks through and another run for the Blaze.
The leadoff walk coming back to hurt this Talons pitching staff. A hit by pitch. Cagle able to deliver. That has to feel good for her because hasn't gotten a ton of playing time this year for the Blaze. That one's off the front foot of her former teammate, Mackenzie Clark. Many consider her the best to ever play the center field position for the Clemson Tigers. Clark in her third year as a pro. That's on the corner, 1-2. Cork could use a strikeout. She'll get one there on a filthy pitch down in the zone.
And definitely a momentum swinger that the Talons need. And Cork knows she can just call on this pitch anytime she needs it. She can call it on the dime. She could place it on the dime. And that is 2 outs for the Talons.
Talk about a luxury knowing you have that in your back pocket. Is the changeup the toughest pitch in softball as a hitter?
It absolutely is. It makes you respect a pitcher. When you know a pitcher has a good changeup, it changes the game. Your game plans definitely have to change. When you're having to sit speed and not only location as well, it makes it so difficult as a hitter.
Alicia Ocasio at the plate. Talked about Valerie Cagle and her recent exploits as a two-way player. Ocasio was one of those pieces as well during her career at Florida. Just misses, that's a walk. And the base is loaded once again. And this league best pitching staff that the Talons boast has looked a little shaky early.
Yeah, and just uncharacteristic of the Talons. Usually they have a good start. They'll usually lead in the circle, but a couple of hiccups today.
Leach up at the plate for her second time already. Walked and came around to score on the Reese Atwood home run. This Blaze team has been getting ahead of teams early, third time scoring first in the last 4 games. 2-1 in those games, and we touched on the importance of this game for Carolina, trying to pick up a win against the top team and further climb up the AUSL standings. Sharply hit and just foul. That might have scored all 3 if it had gotten through.
Yeah, and just knowing how big this field is, if that gets to the right field corner easily, I almost think Aubrey Leach maybe could potentially, depending how it goes, inside the park home run.
Cork trying to get out of the inning. And Leach keeps it alive for at least one more pitch. The 4 runs scored already for the Blaze, the most runs that they have scored in a first inning this year. It also is the most runs the Talons have given up in a first frame this season. Leach was thinking about a grand slam. Instead, it's about 200 feet foul. Off the plate, snap throw to first, and nearly caught Ocasio napping. Charlize Palacios back behind the plate for this Talons team. Had missed some time with injury. Great to see her back out there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Corrick dots the corner to get out of further trouble. But Reese Atwood has delivered, and the Blaze are up early.
And Reese Atwood, when she hits, it's often the kind that changes an inning and changes the game. The Blaze are up.
4-0 Blaze over the Talons after an exciting opening frame of this game. As we head to the bottom of the first inning and a chance to see Kaylani Ricketts, the longtime pro, the former Oklahoma standout, getting the start tonight.
Yeah, this is her first start in her last appearance. She came in relief, but she's just been pitching well. 4 scoreless innings that last outing, and she can move the ball around, and man, does she make it dance, that drop.
Ricketts has a tall task against a Talons lineup that's been really good lately, scoring runs with the best of them. And Jordan Woolery, who bats in the leadoff spot for the first time in her pro career, takes a first pitch ball. Jadlyn Alchin batting in the 2-hole, otherworldly right now. Great to see Jada Coleman back. Hit that big grand slam the other night that we showed you in the open. This is a Talons lineup that was firing on all cylinders, and don't look now, they've got new pieces.
Yeah, just the piece with Jada Coleman back just adds another dimension. Another lefty that can produce.
Bree Ellis was on the injured list for a while, so was Palacios, as we mentioned. A fully loaded Talons cupboard. As Woolery trying to take out someone in the front row.
And I just love that we know the matchups before they happen. Teams know the matchup, so Talons setting up their lineup, getting a righty off of a lefty with the Ricketts, and Jordan Woolery, a good candidate to lead this thing off for the Talons.
As Woolery goes down swinging, Ricketts, the 14th year pro, K's the rookie, as we go down to Sydney Supley.
Thanks, Noah. When you look at Jaden Alchin, she's the hottest hitter right now for the Talons, but her path has been built on persistence and preparation. Persistence in last year, she was just a reserve player who made the most of her opportunities, now earning a starting role. That's fueled her success in her preparation. She's got 2 different swings. You'll see her go work between both today. A lower swing and off-speed pitch, and she'll keep her hands eye up when she's facing high velo like Kaylani Ricketts.
Well, I will apologize to Alchin for our entire broadcast team, because I think we just jinxed the hottest hitter in the league as she grounds out on the first pitch.
Yeah, but just the approach, just having that plan, knowing that she's making those adjustments, and it's just those little tweaks that make all the difference for hitters.
You know, we're not supposed to pick favorites in this business, Natasha Watley, but you and I have gotten to see Jadlyn Alchin play a ton this year, and she's quickly become one of my favorite players to watch in the AUSL.
I think we share that sentiment. It's been so fun to watch her play, and just also knowing her story. We've talked about her coming out of the reserve athlete pool last year and just earning her spot and just really being an impact player for the Talons this year.
Pitch misses outside to Charlize Palacios. Alchin could be a dark horse MVP candidate, in my opinion.
I like that. I can go for that.
Putting up some huge numbers in her second year with this Talons team. Sydney told you last year she was on a reserve athlete pool contract. This year has that name sewn on the back of her jersey instead of stitched on with Velcro. Palacios fouls that one off. 3 balls, 2 strikes. What was your approach in a count like this, Natasha?
Well, facing a Kaylani Ricketts, which I have faced a Kaylani Ricketts, is just when you're 3-2 is to not let her spread the zone. So I'm looking up. I'm looking to have her bring that drop ball, and I want to be aggressive, anything high in the zone.
Palacios hits one hard into right, but in shallow right field is Val Cagle, who makes the catch for the final out of the inning. 4-0 Carolina after 1 here in Salt Lake City.
The ball had eyes.
The ball had eyes.
Down the hole.
Yup. The ball knows. The ball knows. Okay, Jenna.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind to take home there?
You know, I looked up and saw it in the outfield, so then I just ran really fast.
She's too fast. She's too fast is what I'm hearing.
If you're Sydney Supley right now, you got to be a little bit careful. I feel like Emily could work her out of a job with her interview skills down in the dugout. We won't allow that.
No, we won't allow that. She's just a stand-in for the day, Emily.
Gotta say, you love the access that the AUSL gives us. So many fun personalities in this league. We've gotten to be introduced to so many of them. One of them, Alyssa Brito, in the dugout. About turning a double play while you were on an interview and then ending up on SportsCenter all in one day last week as Atwood grounds back to Cork, and already a better start to the second for the Talons pitching staff.
Yes, already a better start, but Brito just fired me up just to be able to actually verbalize, talking about coffee and turning in a double play. Very fun to watch.
Could you have done it back in the day?
I don't think I could have. I don't think I could have. I'm actually being really honest. Probably not. I was too intense, Noah.
I've sensed that.
Yeah, I just was laser focused, and them being able to communicate with each other, communicate with us. They're impressive athletes for sure.
If you're Georgina Cork, has to feel better to come into this inning with no one on base. A chance to kind of reset, although a big deficit to work with. And that might factor in a little bit, because if you're Cork at this point, just go right at these Blaze hitters.
Yeah, and you definitely want a clean slate, and Cork knows how to work count. She knows how to work to get these Blaze hitters out, so different mindset. Got to have a short-term memory coming into this inning.
The pitching matchup was going to be fascinating in this series. The Talons coming in with an ERA that was close to 1.5 points better than the Blaze, who are currently in second place. Really all does come down to pitching. Right now the top teams in the table, the league standings, both have some of the best pitching rotations, and the Blaze not far behind. Off the glove of Cork, Flippin gloves it, and the strong throw to first is in time. Hannah Flippin is back, and last year's Defensive Player of the Year is making a huge impact.
Woo. Hannah Flippin is back, and I got the chills. I can watch Hannah Flippin all day. Just her approach on this ball. This deflects off of Georgina Cork, but to go be the aggressor, go get that ball, makes it look so easy.
What's the key to playing those balls off a deflection?
Just got to read the angle, you got to read the spin, but when in doubt, always be the aggressor, always go get, never sit back on your heels and let that ball come to you.
Also helps to have a really strong arm.
Yeah.
Baylee Klingler at the plate, singled. She was the player that ultimately ended Taylor Tinsley's second pro start. Klingler coming off of that grand slam and a really strong showing over in the Japan Diamond League. Get close to 400 on the season. And I think that's an interesting point, because when you look across the AUSL, getting all of these players back from Japan took a league that was already really good and then lit it on fire with jet fuel.
Yeah, and just the instant impact, you know, Baylee Klingler, we talked about in the Open, coming and having a grand slam, puts Carolina Blaze back in that game against Oklahoma Spark. But that's what Baylee Klingler is. She's a game changer. She's an offensive kid and defensive kid too, but she can do it all, and she's a game changer.
So basically what that graphic was telling us a moment ago is Klingler is someone you want up with the bases loaded. The only 2 Grand Slams in Blaze history. Payoff pitch here for Corrick. And it'll get through the right side, and Baylee Klingler has a 2-hit night. Second multi-hit performance of the year for the 4th-year pro.
Number 17, Jenna Laird.
So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Jenna Laird. Reached on a fielder's choice, came around to score. And Valerie Kegel's 2 RBI single. The Blaze team that early on in the year was averaging 7 runs per game. They've cooled a little bit lately, but still an electric offense as this one's coming back our way. What a play. Great crowd out here at Dumke Family Stadium for the penultimate home game of the year for the Talons. As Corrick catches the inside corner to get ahead.
That curve inside, she's just able to just place that ball. It's almost like she can just walk it in and put it exactly where she wants.
I don't want the season to end here at Dumke Family Stadium because this Salt Lake City fan base has been awesome this first year.
It really has. I mean, just the moments you walk in through the gate, there's just the sense of, I don't know, just energy that you can't describe.
A packed berm in the outfield. Not a seat to be found in the stands in front of us behind home plate. We've seen great crowds across the AUSL this year, in the first year that the league is in home markets. Those Portland crowds have been epic. Durham, so many others, as Flippin has an easy play for the final out of the inning. Corrick looks better that inning, but the Talons still trail by 4.
Welcome back to Salt Lake City, where the Blaze are up to a 4-0 lead. And the Utah Talons, they're going to look to their new dugout mascots to fire up their offense. They're no longer the Utah Talons. They're now the Utah Minions. They're self-coined mascots, as the team spent yesterday's off day going to see the new Minion movie. But the story really starts last Tuesday when Brie Ellis and Jaden Alchin went together and they bought mystery Minions and waited to unbox them to see which ones they would get. And they went to combine 6 for 6 with a walk for the day. So they said, we have to go back and buy more Minions. And spending a lot of time in this dugout to get their offense fired up, they say it is time for us to steal the moon.
I don't know, Sydney, you might have to run to the patent office and get a patent on Utah Minions. It's working for them. They're the hottest team in the league. 12-4 on the year. A 3-game lead in the AUSL standings.
Yeah, it's whatever works. Those things are, that's what's so fun being on the team. Like, those are the little things that you just kind of ride with it. Hey, if it's working and it's bringing the good vibes, you keep it rolling.
Now, Natasha, this might be an unfair question because you played for a long time. It was a little while ago, but was there something that you remember in your career, something like a Minion that maybe you and some of your teammates ever played with?
Good question. Not really. I think it was 1 year just kind of having brooms and sticks if we were a sweeping series, so we would kind of bring brooms into the dugout. But it worked, and the more brooms, the more sweeps we had. But no Minions, I'm so sorry. I didn't have a good answer for that.
Well, at least a broom has multiple uses, because even after a loss, your coach could make you sweep out the dugout, I guess.
Clean it up.
Coleman hit a grand slam that way the other night. That time a been out in front. Missed some time with a lower body injury. When she is in this lineup, she is electric. incredible defender in center field. She was the 4-hole hitter for the Talons prior to that injury. And as we mentioned, this Talons team firing on all cylinders as Coleman works the leadoff walk.
Jada Coleman, just a spark plug, and just the moment she's returned, just a new energy that she brings to Talons and brings some speed on the base pass as well.
And a first pitch strike to Bree Ellis, who got quite the royal welcome. She has become a fan favorite of this Talons fan base. And quite frankly, all of our viewers as well, because we've seen some hilarious moments from Ellis this year, who's putting together a really nice year. Struggled in her rookie year. She's bounced back in a big way. As Atwood, who leads the league in caught stealing, unable to get Jada Coleman at first.
Yeah, a big part of Bree Ellis coming into this year was changing her mentality. That was one of the things that she worked on in the offseason, is just her mindset when she approached the plate. It's paid off for her this season.
I thought it was interesting. I had a chance to talk to Bree Ellis. This was a couple weeks ago, but she trained with Tori Vidalis, who's the first baseman for the Portland Cascade during the offseason. We all know about TV Tori Vidalis and her mannerisms and how much fun she is on the field. As Ellis sends this one into right field. Cagle going to catch it in foul territory, but she mentioned how Vidalis said, just be yourself out there, and we've seen that really pay off for 77 in white.
Yeah, and she's just told Coach Malone at the beginning of the season, hey, if I am internalizing things, shake me, get me out of it. I like to be external. If I'm talking and I'm loud, I am in a good place.
Jada Coleman advanced on that foul out as that one hit somebody. Was it Wyckoff? Yeah, it was. Looked like it hit Wyckoff and maybe Reese Atwood as well. That's not the ideal way to reach first base.
Kaylani Ricketts just trying to work on that inside part of the plate with that drop ball, and this gets Wyckoff, and tough place to get hit.
So we'll pair on, and if you're Utah, you'd love to capitalize after giving up 4 runs in the top of the first inning. And the Talons Swiss Army knife. Savannah Jaquish quickly falls behind 0-2. We've seen her at catcher. We've seen her at third base, most recently second base. And I know she can play the outfield. Just goes to show on these rosters that there's only 16 players. Having that versatility is huge.
So important, and so much value you bring when you're able to fill gaps in different places. And right now she's filling it at second base. But Jaquish is just that type of player, somebody who's on my radar for that 2028 team as well. When you talk about roster sizes, think of a fan of Jaquish. He can be so valuable behind the plate, play the corners as well.
She was announced earlier this week as a member of that elite team that'll play in the International Cup in Oklahoma City in a few short weeks. End of July, early August. Chance to make a statement down there at Devon Park. And working a good at bat here against the veteran, Kaylani Ricketts. I was reading an article earlier this week that called her Oklahoma's Babe Ruth. It's hard to argue with that. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that either. And just the career and the experience that Kaylani Ricketts has. She played over in Japan for a few years as well.
Off the glove of Klingler and into right field. Coleman took a huge turn, drew the stop sign, and the bases will be loaded with Hannah Flippen coming up.
This is the idea, just continuing to hit the ball hard, put the ball in play hard. Savannah Jaquish hits this rise outside, goes with it, and that goes off of Klingler's glove, and now we've got bases loaded for the Talons.
Good as Savannah Jaquish been lately. struggled mightily to begin the year. Spent a lot of time in the batting cage and has really turned it around. And be sure to follow the AUSL and our 6 teams on X, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to see exclusive content featuring your favorite AUSL players, including highlights, mic'd ups, behind the scenes action, and more. I gotta say, I follow all of those, and we get so much great content. It's almost overwhelming with how much content gets put out, but with the action as good as we've seen in the league this year, you understand why.
Oh yeah, and it's just AUSL everywhere, and I know as a fan, and also just being able to be on this side, but as a fan, like just to be up to date, social media, broadcast, everything.
Flippin' swinging at the first pitch. Will they test the arm of Mackenzie Clark? Yes, they will. Here comes Coleman. The throw, not in time. A great slide by Jada Coleman, but could Carolina consider a challenge here? It was bang, bang.
And Mackenzie Clark just coming up with the hose on this play right off the bat, and just where she was depth-wise. I wasn't sure that there would really be a play, knowing that Jada Coleman has good speed, but they're going to go to a replay on that.
So we will see our first challenge.
And just take a look at the depth. And this ball is taking her to right field. So
Blaze is challenging the safe call at home. This play is under review.
I think that she could be out on that. And
looked like the tag was clean.
Yeah, I was just going to say clean tag. It's a beautiful play.
As it stands, it would be the first RBI of the year for Hannah Flippin. Call on the field is safe. We told you about Mackenzie Clark's defensive exploits. If this gets overturned, it'd be her 5th outfield assist of the year. That's an arm you normally don't want to test.
Yeah, when you think of Mackenzie Clark, you think she possesses all the things. She can cover so much ground. She has a lot of speed, but it's the gun. She has an arm. She can make some plays.
After review, the call stands. The runner is safe. That's Carolina's first challenge. They will have 1 remaining.
And shout out to our production crew, because the first couple angles we saw, it was inconclusive at best.
Right.
But then that angle clearly showed that Coleman got in there with a heck of a slide.
Agree. Once we saw that last angle, confirmed. I agree.
It's like burying the lead a little bit, maybe saving the best for last.
Yes.
I love a good surprise.
It's like a drama.
And now Kaylani Ricketts with a chance to avert further damage. Has 2 outs in the inning, facing the 9-hole hitter, Aaliyah Andrews.
Yeah, in this situation, being Aaliyah Andrews, I've got runners on 2nd and 3rd. I just need to think about getting myself on. Knowing the defense is pinched, I'm thinking more hard slap, getting behind a Kaylani Ricketts drop ball.
Andrews into right field. Ocasio was playing in. Rather, that was Cagle, who got back on her horse to make the catch for the final out of the inning. The Talons get their first. The Carolina Blaze with an early 4-1 edge over the Utah Talons. The defensive alignment looking a little bit different today. Jenna Laird making her first start of the season at short. Alyssa Brito slides over to 3rd. And Anna Gold is on the bench for this one, as we are now joined by Blaze General Manager Dana Sorensen for a chair chat. Dana, thanks for joining us, and how has your early trip to Utah been so far?
Oh man, we love it here in Salt Lake. We just got out of Oklahoma City. Where it's a little bit heat, a little bit toasty out there. Stepped off the plane last night, and I think we all took a sigh of relief. It's beautiful. I mean, these mountains are beautiful. This park is awesome. So happy to be here.
Yeah, we've got a great crowd tonight, and so tonight we see a little bit of a shakeup with your defense. Brito at 3rd base, Laird at short, Leach at 2nd base. Just kind of give us some behind the scenes, some insights with the defensive alignment, and just kind of your thought process when you went into the draft this year.
Yeah, so for tonight, I mean, Val's been having some really good at-bats, so we wanted to figure out how to get Val in the lineup today. A little lefty matchup on right-handed Tinsley to start the game. And Jenna Laird, we drafted as a shortstop out of the draft. So we knew that shortstop's her primary position. So we just thought like we'd give Anna just a breather tonight, a little rest her legs, a little refresh, and let's see Brito at third. We know Jenna's a great shortstop, and it allows us to bring Aubrey in to second and get Cagle in the outfield. So just shuffling some things around, but you know, we still believe highly in Anna. We're just going to give her a little bit of a night off here.
Alyssa Brito goes down swinging for the first out, joined by General Manager Dana Sorensen. And Dana, the versatility of this team has been on full display, and I know that was something that you guys really focused on in the draft this year, coming off of a year last year that was kind of injury-plagued.
Yeah, we had some bad luck with our pitching staff early on, but I wanted more slug. I wanted more drive the ball, big parts of the ballpark. So to do that, we needed to have some defensive flexibility to kind of make it work in the draft. So I'm happy with how it came out. I think our players are swinging it, and then our draft picks, our rookies are killing it.
Yeah, just coming into year 2 and after having year 1, what were some of your biggest lessons that you've learned in that GM role coming into this year?
Man, it's hard to track all the athletes that maybe weren't in our league last year that weren't in college. So, you know, Cagle was overseas, Jenna Laird, Jayla Wright were playing in, you know, and some other teams outside of our league. And so just trying to keep track of those players was difficult, but knowing that there was a lot more talent for us to grab. And then wanting the depth piece, wanting to be able to, you know, use our pitchers that can hit. That allowed us to get an extra pitcher in the rotation in case of injuries. So this is a hard game at this level. Oh, she beat that. Oh, almost.
Yeah, Jaquish boots it, and Cagle able to reach for his space. Coach, I want to dig into what you just said a moment ago. Peel back the curtain. What does the scouting process look like in pro softball?
So it's a lot of calling who you know first, you know, people who've coached these athletes at their college programs or coached against them. I have a good group of college coaches I lean on for their information. My staff is amazing. You know, Cara Dill, Lindsay Leftwich. I think Lindsay knows every single player in the game of college softball. Britt Cervantes, you know, has played alongside in the Pro League and, you know, with Team Mexico and the Olympics, so has a lot of advanced knowledge of players that are a little bit outside of my age range. You know, and then Kyler coming up through Florida State with Lonnie Alameda, so she's also an encyclopedia of players. So I utilize them a lot and their notes, their research on players.
Well, you got to have great people around you. It's been fun watching your team this year. We appreciate you joining us. We'll let you watch the rest of the inning.
Thanks, guys.
That was Blaze General Manager Dana Sorensen. It was probably good we let her go because Mackenzie Clark just tried to hit her down the left field line.
She's coming for her.
Georgina Korick starting to find her groove, has retired the last 3 batters that she has faced. Looking for a clean inning here. Two, and there's the patented changeup. Another strikeout for Georgina Korick. 4 in the outing already.
Georgina Korick is just lethal with this changeup, and she gets Mackenzie Clark swinging again on that magnificent changeup.
Jadlyn Alchin really can do it all.
She really can, and that line got me. Imagine striking out to an outfielder, and it happens. Classic.
Alchin will bat second in this inning. Jordan Woolery leading things off for this Talons team, forced to play from behind in this game, much like that final game of the Volt Series. Some late theatrics, the Jada Coleman Grand Slam, the Palacios double. To win that series against the Texas Volts. They won all 5 against the Volts this year.
They did, and just had a great series against them. It was hot in Texas.
Texas, Oklahoma. It was hot in Chicago earlier this week.
It was blazing hot out there.
There's the 3-1 as Woolery swings through. Our colleague Amanda Scarborough used the term heat dome. I had never heard of a heat dome, but look it up. That's what the East Coast has been dealing with. That's why there's been record temperatures here to begin the month of July, as Woolery is down swinging for the second time tonight against Ricketts.
And Ricketts has been so successful on this drop out to righties, and she gets Jordan Woolery on the same pitch again. Just a heavy break. Hard to catch up with for Jordan Woolery.
If you were in Woolery's spot, what's the adjustment against that heavy breaking pitch?
So definitely getting up on the plate, potentially moving up in the box, trying to get that break before it breaks.
Jadlyn Alchin 0 for 1 tonight off of Kaylani Ricketts. Alchin came into tonight and averaged close to 450. See those offensive numbers. She's great in the field as well. As she goes down looking, and the veteran Ricketts has back-to-back Ks to begin the third.
Kaylani Ricketts is feeling it tonight. I mean, she is definitely settling in, and that drop is moving. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kaylani Ricketts.
Palacios lines one through the right side. Played in the final game of that Bolt series. Second game back as her first hit.
So that's exactly the adjustment, if I'm a righty, that I would do. Charlize Palacios thinking right side, just trying to get inside of that drop ball in the outer half and just taking a little bit off her swing, not trying to kill it too much.
3 Ks early in the outing for Ricketts, tying her season high in the season opener against Portland back on June 9th. Doesn't like the pitch there, is going to shake off, return to the rosin. Pitch clock never reset, now they will. It's up to 15. As Ricketts misses outside to Jada Coleman.
Yeah, just being a lefty off of Kaylani Ricketts, it's so tough. She almost hides her drop ball off of the backside of her hip and almost pops out last second. So as a hitter, you got to think about staying square, not reacting, especially when she comes arm side. That's where she's so effective to lefties, is that arm side drop.
But as you know, certainly easier said than done.
Yeah, of course. We just get to talk about it. It's tough hitting a Kaylani Ricketts drop ball and trying to get behind it and getting it before it drops.
Former Oklahoma Sooner Jada Coleman into center field for the final out of the inning. Ricketts rolling early in this outing in Utah. They are on another level, 46 runs over their last 4 games. As Ocasio bunts this one, foul. That Bandits team faced this Talons team in the championship series. Last year it was the Talons who won it in 2 games. Speaking of that, the Talons got their rings earlier this week, and those were sweet.
They were sweet. That was definitely pushed from GM Lisa Fernandez, saying, hey, we need some rings. Talking to Kim Ng, made it happen. They were sweet.
A ring ceremony for the champions, now chasing a second ring in 2 seasons of the AUSL. This Talons team was the cream of the crop last season in the first year of this league. Road dominant pitching, really good defense to that championship. They will always be remembered as the first champions in AUSL history. Grounded to Jaquish to first. And the first out here in the 4th. And Natasha Watley, don't look now, the Talons are in a great spot to make it 2 for 2.
Oh, absolutely. And I think when you talk about just ingredients, just the pitching staff, the defense, and the offense coming alive as well, I definitely think that they have a better offense this year than they did last year. So definitely a key contender for that top spot.
This pitching staff has been the best in the league by a significant margin. As you mentioned, the offense has been really good lately as Leach lays down the bunt. This could be trouble, but not for Georgina Korik. She's been practicing her PFP since coming back from Japan and records the second out of the inning.
This is a difficult play, just the placement from Aubrey Leach. Perfect touch, perfect placement, bringing it with her. But Georgina Korik, the way she bounces off that mound, gets rid of it quickly. That's a big second out for the Talons.
First pitch followed back by Reese Atwood. Blaze had 4 hits in the first inning of this game and 4 runs since then, coinciding with Korik coming into this game, just 1 single and no runs. That's exactly what you want your ace to do, come in and shut down the opposing lineup. Korik's done just that. Pitcher of the Year in 2025. Atwood works underneath that one. Alchin going to give it a look. It's out of play. And I think the defining matchup in this series was how the pitching would go. That's why the Talons beat the Blaze the first time this year.
You've got your Montana Fouts, your starter there. You've got Georgina Korick. Just two dominant pitchers that I would think would be your 1-2 pitchers, and they've just been leading the staff. Just been dominant.
Cork misses outside. Blaze won the third game of that series last week. The first two games all Talons. No earned runs allowed over 15 innings. Cork and Fouts teamed up. This game's felt a little bit more like game 3. 3-2 to Atwood off the end of the bat. And look at Cork. A couple of nice plays. Maybe trying to chase down a gold glove here in the AUSL this year.
And Georgina Korick flashing her leather, bouncing off the mound. Like a position player, that's a quick 1-2-3 outs for the Talons.
This was not a must-win game for the Carolina Blaze, but this was a game that you wanted to make a statement. They came out and did that in the first inning. They score 4. Reese Atwood hits her 5th home run of the year as Bree Ellis shoots the gap to begin the home half of the 4th. A leadoff double for 77. And the Talons thinking about a comeback here midway through this game.
And now is the time where you start to make your adjustments. That second time through the lineup now, Bree Ellis getting a curve inside, keeps her hands inside of it. First pitch swinging, and this is her 4th double of the year.
You mentioned it last. Well, and to your point, you mentioned it last inning. Palacios with that single through the right side. Now the Ellis double. Feels like the Talons have made some good adjustments.
It's just staying short to the ball. You know that Kaylani Ricketts is not going to overpower it by you with speed. It's more of the movement, so making sure you have good barrel control, good bat control, that's going to be the difference.
Kaylee Wyckoff batting here in the 6th hole today. She's been the leadoff hitter over the last couple of weeks since coming up out of that reserve athlete pool. I think you move her down in the lineup. Maybe you put the righty and Jordan Woolery at the top because you're facing the lefty Ricketts.
That's exactly it. And you can see it's a righty with Jordan Woolery, Alchin, a lefty. So going back and forth with your righty and lefties. Trying to pair up with a strong lefty in Kaylani Ricketts.
Ricketts 3 strikeouts so far tonight. Jordan Woolery has 2 of them as you can see a couple of those Talons teammates having a conversation. And those are the conversations that are the best, right?
We are on the same page. I'm like, those are the conversations that are so valuable. Charlize Palacios, successful of going right side, keeping her hands inside. And it's all about schooling, education, just here are my adjustments, sharing knowledge.
Wyckoff grounds this one back up the middle. Clean play for Laird to retire Wyckoff at first. And don't miss the AUSL All-Star Cup in Rosemont, Illinois, beginning August 8th. Watch the top AUSL players compete in a high-energy all-star competition across 4 consecutive weekends, all battling to be crowned the champion of the All-Star Cup. For tickets, hotel offers, and more, visit theausl.com today. And as Savannah Jaquish steps to the plate, if you're the Talons, you need to find a way to get Bree Ellis in from 3rd and further cut into this deficit. And speaking about this stat, my stats guy, Ryan, who's been fantastic in our time out here in Salt Lake City, just passed me this note. Bree Ellis, 3 extra base hits in her last 3 games. Now has 7 on the year. Natasha, she had 1 all of last year.
And just completely has flipped the script this year. Again, it's mentality, just being able to know, hey, I belong here. It's confidence, and I think that that's been the big difference for Bree Ellis.
To spend her off-season working by herself. She wasn't in that college environment. She said it was different, but man, she put in the work, and it has paid off this year. There's the 3-1 now to Jaquish. It's on the corner.
Because which is interesting, usually when athletes just transition from the college game straight here, coming from the spring to the summer, it's an easier transition, but that first year off is usually the hardest, and Brielle has proven that she did a lot of work in that offseason.
Jaquish caught looking, did not like the call from our home plate umpire, Lyndon Baptiste. 4 strikeouts now for Kaylani Ricketts, a new season high.
And Kaylani Ricketts just being able to place these drop balls. She looks so good tonight. She looks like she's in the driver's seat and gets this Savannah Jaquish looking.
So after giving up the leadoff double, she's gotten a 6-3 ground out, and now a strikeout and a chance to get out of the inning, but has to go through Hannah Flippen, who had the RBI off of Ricketts earlier in this game. Flippen's just 3rd game back, had been dealing with a lower leg injury that kept her out for a couple of weeks. Talon's glad to have one of their leaders, their best defender, back playing that prime spot at shortstop that you loved playing, Natasha Watley.
Yeah, just Hannah Flippen, she's so valuable. And even the time that she spent out, she was like an extra coach on the bench, just being able to share experiences and coaching up the athletes. And Taylor Beal, who stepped in as a reserve athlete, just giving her a lot of knowledge too. And it's good to see Hannah Flippen back.
Putting together a competitive at-bat here against the 14th year pro and Kaylani Ricketts. Talons team that's one of the best, hitting with 2 outs tonight, just 1 for 4. Goes to 275 on the year. 0-2 to Flippen, high. Where do you go next if you're Ricketts?
I'm going to try to go back to that drop on the outer half again.
One, 2, and Flippen spoiled it.
I'm going to stay there. But I'm going to try to spread the zone a little bit. I'm going to try to go a little bit wider, see if I can get her to swing and miss on this.
A game of cat and mouse right now between Ricketts and Flippen. Flippen into center field. Clark coming in. Makes the catch for a loud out number 3. The Talons squander the leadoff double. They trail 4-1. The Carolina Blaze really wanted to have this game, and Natasha Watley, their offense showed up early.
And it showed up early with Reese Atwood. This was her 5th home run of the season, but just so much power. But what they were doing so well was swinging early in the counts, being aggressive, putting the pressure on the Talons, and having that pass the bat mentality.
The Blaze scoring 4 off of a combination of Taylor Tinsley and Georgina Corrick. The big blast off the bat of Reese Atwood. We talked about her Rookie of the Year case, and with every big swing like that, I think it's becoming better and better. And sometimes, when the voters look at things, they tend to go towards hitters over pitchers at times for roles like that.
For sure, for sure. And that's why, you know, you've got a Pitcher of the Year, Player of the Year. Definitely for, you're saying Rookie of the Year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I mean, I could go either way, and I almost feel like we can kind of split it, but you never know each year if you have a pitcher that's a rookie and a player. But I think Reese Atwood, the campaign that she's been putting up, and, you know, just rolling off a 2-time national championship, what a year that she's had, but she's definitely proven herself at this level at the plate.
Dakota Kennedy, another one of those young pieces who's continuing to prove herself as a double tonight. Catches the corner, 2-2. Atwood, Pickens, a dynamic duo that Dana Sorensen's going to have for years to come. Dare I say, a building block as Kennedy is caught looking.
And Georgina Corrick just has so many tools. She does so well of going side to side. She goes back in with the curve inside and gets Dakota Kennedy looking.
5th strikeout of the night for Corrick in relief. Klingler just keeps raking. 3 for 3 tonight. 3 singles for Klingler. I think you picked a really good person to highlight in the open, Natasha.
Well, she's a game changer. Her being back in this lineup, she means offense. This is what Baylee Klingler does. This is not new to her. I think having her presence and also having her veteran and experience is going to be huge for the Blaze as they can continue on.
Sydney, you can add.
Coaching staff said, hey, we're going to leave you at number 4 because we know it's going to click. We just saw that on full display.
Well, it is definitely clicking tonight. Talons trying to complete the double play. Couldn't the speed of Jenna Laird just a bit too much, so she trades places now with Klingler, who really can be an impact piece down the stretch of the season for a Blaze team that, since they lost Kayla Kowalik to injury, has looked a little bit different on offense.
Yeah, and Baylee Klingler is another athlete that just allows you to not skip a beat with having Kayla Kowalik going down. Keeping her in that 4 spot, she's that type of athlete that you keep there. And she's definitely cashing in on the hits tonight.
He's leading 4-1 against the Talons. Another called strike for Korick. And it's the versatility of this Blaze team this year that makes them a true playoff threat. They just did not have that last year. As Brito took a massive swing right there.
Goodness.
You've been in that spot before.
Woo. But she just pulls a string. Korick, that changeup, and even if you know it's coming, it's hard to stay in your legs. But Brito, she takes her hacks.
Goes to the changeup again, and Georgina Korick has 6 strikeouts. That pitch is nasty.
It's actually filthy and just wrong. Back-to-back changeups. 6 strikeouts for Georgina Korick.
Back in Salt Lake City. And the Blaze are going to the bullpen to the flamethrower, Carlin Pickens, who comes in after Kaylani Ricketts put together a fantastic outing.
Yeah, Kaylani Ricketts just had an incredible night, but Carlin Pickens paired with a Kaylani Ricketts is just almost devastating. A lot of speed coming from a Carlin Pickens, but Kaylani Ricketts just in control tonight, 4 Ks, and that drop ball just moving.
A season-high 4 strikeouts for Ricketts. She departs, and now Carlin Pickens is in. Aaliyah Andrews stepping in.
Ooh.
And look at that one. 76 miles per hour. Things just escalated quickly.
Well, did you hear that? Did you hear the crowd? And you could hear the catcher's mitt back here just pop in, but everybody said, whoo, and you can feel that speed.
Back-to-back firm ones from Pickens, who's thrown the fastest pitch in recorded history. Leading candidate for Rookie of the Year in the AUSL this season. And catches the strike zone that time. 3 straight pitches at 76.
And just a completely different feel. She keeps the ball down like Ricketts, but just a hard and down. Definitely different feel.
Natasha, we've got a slapper at the plate in Aaliyah Andrews. You were a slapper going up against people who had velocity. What's the key?
Timing. If anything, as a slapper, you want to be slow and control. Let the pitcher supply the power. If anything, I just want to make sure I get my bat head out and be short to the ball.
Andrews stays alive on the 2-2. We had seen Aaliyah Andrews in the leadoff spot a lot with some of those pieces out of the lineup, the Flippins, the Ellises, the Palacios. Now down at the bottom of the lineup as this lineup just got deeper.
I'm just seeing her in the 9-hole. It's almost like you're having another leadoff, but what she can do so well, she can turn this lineup over and get you to your big bats as well and allow you to have some traffic on base as well.
Andrews has been on base a ton this year, hits in 12 of her 16 games this season coming into tonight. 2-2 from Pickens, and gets her swinging at 76 as we go down to Sydney Supley.
Jordan Woolery has done two things the same since she was 8 years old, all the way to playing in the pro leagues. And the first starts with she's had the same hitting coach, Coach Danny Parajan, who's in attendance tonight. He came all the way to Utah to watch her play for the first time. And the second is he taught her to live off the tee. He said if you can't hit a ball off a tee, it's going to be really hard to face somebody throwing upper 70 miles per hour. So she said, shout out Coach Danny for teaching her tee work is the best work.
Coach Danny, the OG for Jordan Woolery. And I love that note about the tee because not every athlete loves to swing off of a tee.
Right. You know, we talked to Caroline Jacobson a couple weeks ago. She says, I like a moving ball, but athletes, you know, hitting off of a tee, it's all preference. But it's really good to kind of break down mechanics, break down your swing paths, contact points, really understand your swing.
There's some great photos showcasing that relationship. Woolery, one of the best hitters to come through UCLA in some time. Her and Megan Grant gave all of us quite the show this year. The Bruin Bombers. Here's the 2-2 to Woolery. And it's got to be fun to see these moments come full circle.
It is, and just seeing what they've done their last 4 years at UCLA, just fourth in rank with batting average, but just the numbers that her and Megan Grant put up, just unreal, and a lot of fun to watch.
Natasha, where do you still rank on batting average at UCLA?
I have no idea.
I think you're at the top.
I thought you would know. I'm like, I actually don't know. I have no idea.
Here comes the 2-2. Grounded foul as Woolery putting together a nice at-bat against Carlin Pickens, the #1 overall pick. Woolery was also a first-round pick this year in the AUSL. Low, 3-2. Back up the middle, and Woolery comes through. Didn't try to do too much, and she's on base. And her hitting coach is loving it.
He loves it, and everything that she's learned from Coach. But working her way back from an 0-2 count, just swinging over those drop balls at first and just trying to get her timing down. You saw her go to showing bunt, that slap, pulling back and swing to get her timing down, and perfect execution.
I believe we're going to see a pinch runner here. We will. It'll be Caroline Jacobson who comes in to pinch run. So the Talons get a little added speed on the base pass with their hottest hitter in Jadlyn Olchen strolling to the plate. Olchen tonight against the left-handed throwing Ricketts, 0 for 2 with a strikeout. And now she faces the righty, Carlin Pickens. Natasha, every time Pickens throws a ball, I find myself looking at the radar gun in center field.
Because it's so loud and just the pop, and you can just feel how hard it is.
That one at 75, a bit lower than the 76 she's kind of been settling in at.
But it's consistently 75, 76, and that's what's so impressive about her.
There's no one else in our game right now that's throwing at these speeds that consistently. You can understand why Dana Sorensen made Carlin Pickens the #1 overall pick in the college draft. There's her 0-2 just off the corner. And man, you got to have some guts to take that pitch.
Yeah, definitely. But I think also, too, a big reason why Coach Sorensen, Dana Sorensen picked her is her pitch mix. She keeps the ball down, even though she throws that ball hard. And I think at this level, having someone who can stay down in the zone is so key.
Olchen meets the speed, tattoos it into left. Kennedy, who's an excellent defensive left fielder, got a good jump on it for out #2. That pitch was released at 76. It came off the bat at 70.
So hard. She throws so hard. This is actually my first time seeing Carlin Pickens throwing live. I've only seen her throw on TV, so she's really bringing it tonight.
First pitch on the corner again at 76. This is my second time. First time I watched Carlin Pickens pitch live, she threw a no-hitter.
Where was that?
It was at Kentucky earlier this year in a weekend series. It's the 5th no-hitter in Carlin Pickens' Division I career, a standout career at Tennessee for head coach Karen Weekly and the Lady Vols. Now starring here at the pro level. Here's the 0-2. And swings through it at 77. Fastest pitch of the night for Carlin Pickens. And Palacios was no match.
And Carlin Pickens just coming in blazing at this Talons lineup. 77 drop ball. Strikeout number 2 for Carlin Pickens. Let's take a look back at what Georgina Korek has been able to do since she's entered the game at the top of the first. She's settled in and just throwing with precision, throwing that drop, locating on both sides of the plate, and racking up a season high of 6 Ks tonight.
Korek coming on in relief of Taylor Tinsley, who did not have her best outing tonight. This Blaze team was lurking in the weeds and got to her early. 4 in the top of the first inning. And if you're a Blaze fan, you'll love this nugget. 4-0 this season when leading after 5 innings are the Carolina Blaze. As Valerie Cagle continues her strong night, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. And she has a leadoff single off of Korek.
And Valerie Cagle swinging first pitch. This is a screw outside, breaking away from her. Just stepping up at the plate and really playing free now that she is just a position player, swinging it big. She's a hitter.
And I think the story of Valerie Cagle is so cool because she was so good at Clemson alongside her teammate Mackenzie Clark, who's at bat right now. But Cagle was known as a standout two-way player, pitcher and a hitter. She said that at one point she didn't enjoy pitching and she considered quitting the game of softball. Instead goes over to the Netherlands, falls in love with hitting again, and here she is in 2026.
And I think that story is so valuable of just figuring out what works best for you.
Clark lays down a nice bunt. And Korek, who's had a really nice night defensively, out of the circle and fires to first for out number 1.
How about Georgina Korek? Just the plays that she's making tonight. These are elite next level plays, but setting up her feet, getting rid of it quickly. Quick out.
And it was worth mentioning after that play a moment ago, we have seen some defensive changes from this Talons team. Rachel Becker in at second. Jordan Woolery goes over to first. Savannah Jaquish is at third now. And Kaylee Wyckoff is out in right field. Ocasio bunts it foul. Palacios pounced on it. But Lyndon Baptiste was all over it.
Alicia Ocasio, what can't she do? She can literally do everything. She can slap, she can hit for power. See her trying to put down bunts. She can play anywhere defensively. Talk about an asset to a team.
0-2 fouled off. For me, she's the stereotype of player that it sounds like Dana Sorensen wants to have more of on this team. And with the roster limit of just 16, you have to find versatile people.
Yeah, she fits the mold perfectly. She can pitch in the circle. We're not even talking about that. But at training camp this year, she took balls at shortstop, second base, third base, right field, center field, first base. Honestly, she can do it all. I say she's one of the most athletic pitchers I have ever seen.
Makes it easy to find yourself in the lineup when your manager can put you in so many different spots. Here's the 0-2, buzz the tower. How you feeling as a batter after that pitch, Natasha Watley?
You hear the pitcher talking, maybe trying to get some respect and kind of trying to get you back off the plate, but now I'm thinking something down and out, something slow and out.
It was down and out, so Ocasio stays alive. Part of a national championship team for the Florida Gators. During her collegiate career, longtime pro now, is Ocasio. 9th season playing at the professional level. Here comes the 1-2 and stays alive. Corrick's been excellent since coming on in relief of Tinsley. He's kept the scoreline 4-1. On the 8th pitch of the at-bat, Corrick can't find the corner.
Just good placement. That's a hitter's count and keeping it down in the way, spreading the zone just a little bit.
2-2, Corrick going back to it. That one a little bit elevated. If you're Carolina, you'd love to find a tack-on run. That one nearly sawed off the hands of Alicia Ocasio.
And you could just see Corrick just really trying to get Ocasio to back up off the plate. She's really trying to set up something on the outer half. Ocasio just has nothing to do but just to throw her hands at it.
See if Ocasio's thinking along with you. Here's the 2-2. Outside, goes to right field. And Becker, a couple of steps onto the grass, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. And Athletes Unlimited Women's Sports Bar Alliance is a national network where fans celebrate women's sports, athletes, the games, and each other. For more information and to find a location nearest you, visit auprosports.com. 2 outs in the inning. And back to the top of the lineup, Aubrey Leach, first pitch swinging, flipping across the diamond, and Georgina Corrick continues to throw up zeros, but she needs her offense to come alive. We'll see if they can when we come back.
Okay, Carlin, you're throwing 76 right now. Do we think the peach rings had anything to do with this?
Absolutely. I am on a sugar rush.
Let's go.
To be honest,
let's go. If you ever want to throw 76,
peach rings.
Peach rings.
From the tent and right field.
We love him.
Carlin Pickens, 76 consistently. 77 was the fastest pitch. And I don't know, Natasha, it's got me thinking about my favorite candy. What's yours?
Mine is Sour Patch Kids, the watermelon flavor. What's yours?
Coleman singles through the left side. Mine are Sour Skittles, so I guess we're on the same side as we go down to Sydney.
When you talk to Carlin Pickens about her speed, she said it only occurs when she's not trying and it feels effortless. But she goes, I think what's really underrated about my pitching style is my movement. And that's something the entire coaching staff echoed. And until Pickens put on this uniform and they saw her throw live, she's got about a 7-inch break on her rise ball, which is something they're really trying to develop in this pro league.
She'll face Bree Ellis here, Miss Upstairs, and Sydney Supley. I gotta know, what's your favorite candy?
Oh, Reese's Pieces.
Okay.
All day long.
That's
Little
a good
peanut butter
one.
chocolate, can't go wrong.
Except they melt. That can be an issue on a hot night like tonight. It's been in the low 90s. Not quite as hot as the pitches coming out of the hands right now of Carlin Pickens. That was her slowest pitch of the night at 70 right there.
That makes so much sense when she says that it's effortless and that she doesn't feel like she's trying to grunt and make things happen. That's when she throws the hardest. And that tends to be true most of the time. Effortless, power. She definitely has that.
A true unicorn in our game right now is Carlin Pickens. And I think most people forget that there was a point early in this year where she hurt that throwing arm and had to miss some time. Came back, was maybe a little bit sluggish, but really started to come on strong and then has translated that to the pro year.
And I think coming back from that injury.
And they're going to say Ellis went around. Sorry, partner.
Yeah, no, I think that it's the movement. That's where I was going, is the movement that she has. That time that she came back from that injury really allowed her to focus on that movement. And again, she is throwing hard, but she has a lot of hard break moving down. And it's Bree Ellis looking.
I think it was interesting when you talk to people around the Tennessee program. There was so much hype around Carlin Pickens when she got that golden ticket, but then she gets injured, and I think that allowed her to kind of work through all the fanfare that ultimately came with that ticket, as we see Wyckoff line out to right field. 2 outs in the inning. I can only imagine just all of the media and people wanting to get an autograph from you. That was all things that Carlin Pickens had to deal with in her senior campaign.
Yeah, in this day and age, too, just social media and just the access that we have to the athletes, it's a lot to hold and a lot to wear on your shoulders, especially being a face of a program. I think that was another thing that drew GM Dana Sorensen to her, is just how she carried herself. She was a team-first athlete, always trying to make sure she was picking up the people around her.
Comes from a great family. Got a chance to hear her parents on a broadcast earlier this year. A down-to-earth person who's one of the most talented softball players in the world right now. That one caught the corner at 75. You gotta love Jaquish right here, calling the timeout, stepping out of the box.
And we saw this the other night from Jada Coleman, but just athletes taking control of their at-bat. So many times you hear the pitcher controls everything, but sometimes you gotta control your own ABs.
Right now, Carlin Pickens is in full control. Looking for strikeout number 4. Off the end of the bat to second. The flip is high, and the inning will continue. The normally sure-handed Aubrey Leach with a miscue, and that may have come about because of the speed of Jada Coleman.
A lot of things, your speed of the ball, speed of Jada Coleman, but this just kind of handcuffs her, and by the time it handcuffs her, gets on her heel, and hard for her to transition, but just that high toss, Jada Coleman stands in there safe.
Will go down as an error on Leach, a fielder's choice for Jaquish, and it allows the inning to continue. And don't look now, suddenly Hannah Flippin at the plate representing the tying run in this game. Perhaps sensing that moment, we will get a circle visit here with 2 outs. And have you followed the AU Pro Shop on Instagram yet? Stay in the loop with new arrivals, restock alerts, giveaways, and exclusive promos you don't want to miss. You can connect with the merch team for all the latest drops in game day gear on Instagram and at AU Pro Shop. Natasha, I got a sneak peek at the latest merch drop with the AUSL, these ESPN collaboration shirts. Man, the merch team in the AUSL is doing some great things this year.
And they're items that you just want to wear lifestyle-wise. They're cool. I love the branding, the sweatshirts. Just a lot of items that to be proud of, and I would want to rock.
They delivered us the Everyone Watches Women's Softball t-shirt earlier this year. In collaboration with Together X, as Pickens evens the count up. Actually 2-1 still. I got ahead of myself. Flipping up the middle. They're going to get aggressive with Coleman. Clark comes up throwing. And this time, it's Clark who guns down Coleman. The first time went to Coleman. This time, it's Mackenzie Clark with her 5th outfield assist of the year.
And the second that we've seen tonight. And if there's a lesson to be learned, do not run on Mackenzie Clark. Watch softball all day. That's what I'm talking about on the 4th of July.
Another filthy changeup from Georgina Cork to start off this at-bat to Reese Atwood. And if you could find a way to bring a pool here to Dumke, I'd be down. Maybe put one in the outfield out by that tree. Kind of like the Arizona Diamondback Stadium.
Yes.
Atwood ropes one into the glove of Flippin. A loud out number 1. as we go down to Sydney Supley.
When you look at this Blaze team, they may be young, but they're shining through with their chemistry. And it's not an easy task when these teams have only a few practices before they have to go and play. So this team actually took a DISC personality test where it breaks their personalities in 4 groups, and all of their results were shared. So they know how to communicate with each other, how to fire one another up. And they said the best thing was figuring out who needs a little juice and who might need just a listening ear and a calm presence.
Here's the 1-0 from Cork, and I've never been a huge believer in those tests, but after hearing what Sydney just reported, maybe I need to be.
Yeah, they actually work. I've been a part of teams where you just get to know what makes other athletes work,
Miss Coleman was not going to get past
how they communicate, how they handle stressful moments, and so those are all important things to know, especially in a short amount of time. They don't have a lot of time to gel as a team.
And the big key is just have a couple of hams in the dugout like Emily and Mackenzie Clark. We've seen the personality of Burrito. There's a ton of personality in this first base dugout.
There is, and just a lot of youth, and that was one of the things that GM Sorensen said, is like, I want youth on my team, and you can see that energy this year.
One of those youthful bats. Dakota Kennedy will work the 1-out walk. Dana Sorensen has done a really nice job constructing a team that could very easily get into the expanded playoffs this year. 3 teams in the AUSL will make the playoffs, a play-in game before that championship series. How much fun is that going to be this year?
I think it's going to be a thrill. That's in College Station at Texas A&M, and so top 3 teams will be there. But I definitely, yes, I think we probably see Talons, but I think that 2-3 is where it'll be questionable to see.
A lot of intrigue. As Klingler hits another ball firmly. Had 3 hits tonight. It's been the most hits that any Blaze hitter has had. She's finally retired, and the pinch runner on a gold had to go back to first base. And speaking of the playoff race, really heating up. Talons 12-4 at the top of the table. Cascade, the Bandits, this Blaze team all tightly bunched, and the Spark are going to try to get back into things as well, just 5.5 games out.
Yeah, and I saw Maya Brady is off that injured reserve, so that might be some difference with the Spark. But the way that the Bandits have been playing, the way that they've been swinging the ball, just definitely on the heels of Blaze, they for sure will be a contender.
And I think the thing I like most about the remaining schedule for this Blaze team, I'll never call a schedule easy, but it is easier than some of the teams that they're trying to finish ahead of. The Bandits are playing fantastic right now. The Cascade also fighting with this Blaze team for that 2nd and 3rd spot in the league.
Yeah, and you just think about the teams that they have coming up, and Chicago right now, the head-to-head right now, Chicago's beating them in the series, but just so many opportunities for especially the Blaze to move up in the ranks.
Cause ringing out, and Corrick responds. She has been excellent tonight. Georgina Corrick, lucky number 7.
And Georgina Corrick just knows how to get the momentum going for the Talons. She looks magnificent tonight.
A 4-1 Blaze advantage as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Talons looking for a comeback win, but they will have to go through Carlin Pickens.
Yes, and we saw Carlin Pickens enter the bottom of the 5th.
And that's a great start. It gets past Kennedy. Andrews can fly. Rounding seconds and sliding in safely. A leadoff triple in front of this capacity crowd here at Dumke.
And this is what Aaliyah Andrews can provide in that 9 spot. She is another lead-off hitter at the bottom of the lineup, but this is exactly what you do as a slap hitter facing a Carlin Pickens. You allow her to supply the power. She gets behind it, and she is moving into third base, pumped.
And that turns the lineup over. Jordan Woolery 2 strikeouts tonight, but had a big single off of Carlin Pickens in her last plate appearance. If you were living under a rock this year, Jordan Woolery had the most RBIs in the NCAA, 117. Second most all time, and up in an RBI spot right here.
Yeah, and just one of the most clutch athletes I have ever seen play the game. And so exactly who you want up at the plate, and her being in that leadoff spot, some great chances for the Talons.
And we're being told Reese Atwood just had to switch gloves. Wonder if the string broke because of the pitches from Pickens. I would not want to be a catcher's mitt with Pickens in the circle.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if her web got caught up, or because Pickens is throwing hard tonight.
Gas all night long. 2-0 pitch followed off. Pickens on in relief of Kaylani Ricketts. For Pickens, this would be her first career save if she's able to finish the job. Talons thinking otherwise. On the corner, 2-2. The Talons are 0-4 this year when trailing after 6 innings. Blaze undefeated at 3-0. Woolery to the right side. That's going to score a run. Gets the job done. An RBI for Jordan Woolery with Jadlyn Alchin coming to the plate.
Yeah, and you got to be pleased with that at-bat. That's a productive at-bat. Again, just getting that run in gets you 2 runs closer to close this thing out and tie up the game.
And if you're Pickens, you probably don't mind that. Now you don't have to deal with a runner on third. 1 out, Talons down by 2. As Alchin stares at a first pitch strike, 75 up in the zone.
This is a good moment to put down a bunt, try to make some things happen. Jadlyn Alchin has good pop, good power, but just right now you need base runners. I'm looking at what the defense is giving me. I know I have speed if I'm Jadlyn Alchin as well.
A miss low and away to Alchin. 0 for 3 tonight. Had come in hitting .472 since Cindy Ball Malone moved her up into the 2 spot in this lineup. Talked about the resurgence of the Talons offense. That move was a big catalyst. Off the corner, 3-1. And are you taking a pitch right here?
I'm absolutely taking a pitch. It has to be perfect for me to swing, but I'm taking a pitch unless it's a money ball.
3-1, she was swinging. It was about as close to a money ball as Carlin Pickens normally gives you.
And that was on the hard of the plate, so absolutely swinging on that.
A massive pitch. The 3-2 from Pickens. And with the speeds that she's throwing at, you don't have to supply much power for the ball to go a long way.
Not at all. All you got to do is make sure you stay short to the ball. If I'm Jadlyn Alchin, I'm thinking left center right now.
We'll do the 3-2 again. And Alchin fighting. We saw another Talons outfielder just the other night come through late in it at bats. Alchin trying to do that here off of Pickens.
Woo.
Rally caps on in the Talons dugout. 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming. And Alchin wins the war, and the tying run is coming to the plate.
And all you need is base runners, and all you need in these moments is to compete and fight, and that is exactly what Jadlyn Alchin is doing. A 10-pitch at-bat. She finally gets something on the inner half, a rise in, and she's able to squeeze it through that 3-4 hole.
That'll bring up Charlize Palacios. 1 for 3 tonight. Grounded to the left side. Going to be a tough play. Unable to turn the double play. The Blaze fortunate to get the lead runner in Alchin, who was bearing down on Aubrey Leach. And so now this takes us to the moment these Talons fans have been waiting for. Jadlyn Alchin retired at second. Jada Coleman at the plate. She hit a go-ahead grand slam earlier this week. She represents the tying run. Taking on the first pitch, upstairs at 75.
And you have to love an athlete like Jada Coleman. She is the pure definition of competitor, competes every pitch.
Coleman, Brito, and the first game goes to the Blaze. Carolina comes out west and takes game one as they climb closer to the Talons at the top of the standings. They came into tonight trailing the Talons by 3.5 games, now behind 2.5 with a game to come tomorrow.